Hey, Leo Seeker. You're often possessed with a lot more skill and talent than most. And so you are very accustomed to people that if they don't have a certain skill or talent, then instead of saying, I can't or I don't know, they try to, in a way, minimize your talent or your skill. And in some cases, even vilify it, just in ways of like explaining why they don't. It's not that I don't know. It's not that I can't. It's not that I don't have the skill or talent. It's not that I can't see. It's just that I won't see. And you have tried throughout your life to tell people, to tell a blind man, hey, there's a pit in front of you. You need to stop or turn around or walk around or you will fall. And have them tell you, I don't believe in pits. I don't draw in pits. If you see a pit, it's because it exists inside of you and you're projecting it onto me. If you see pits, it's because you're searching for them. I'm good. I don't have that pit energy in me. I don't seek for it. And as they yatter from a combination of vanity and ignorance, they just drop into the pit. Because the world is full. The world is full. The world, our world anyway, is hermetic, dual, contradictory. You being on one side of the aisle doesn't negate the existence of the other, nor does it exclude you from experiencing it. You being an earth sign doesn't mean you don't breathe oxygen or don't think. You being an air sign doesn't mean you don't need to drink water or that you don't feel. This tendency to take oneself out of something in ways of like explaining to themselves why they don't understand it, or being the sign of the sun, of light, of heart that senses things. When you're truly empathic, you sense good and you sense bad because your heart is open. When you only sense one type of things, your heart is not fully open or at all. That's why so few people are actual empaths or actual psychics, because to contain all that takes incredible level of skill to integrate all kinds of to transmute, all kinds of energies and forces in order to and remain healthy in the world, in order to remain healthy and sane in the world. So it's okay that most people don't or most people can't. Nothing wrong with that, but you have to deal with them not just not able to or not see, but kind of blame you for knowing more or try to make you look bad for being more. It's exhausting. And at this point, some of you probably have learned to let them fall into their pits. Evil doesn't exist. I don't draw it in. I don't seek for it. I don't know anything about it, as they have nothing but like darkness swirling around them and they're oblivious to it. Nothing but darkness is a too big of a statement. A combination of both light and darkness. You walk in the world, you breathe oxygen. Some of it is clean, some of it is tainted by pollution. Yes, if you'll go to a highly polluted place, you will breathe more polluted oxygen, but you don't really need to do that. You can just be in a very, very clean environment. And yet, this is the world you live in at the moment. Why am I talking about all of this? You guys always deal with that shit. And you always see right through it. And you always get people blaming you for being, too many cards, for being, yeah, too many cards, for being too proud or too this or too that, to claim that you know, or to claim that you see, or to just be who you are. You don't even claim anything. You just see. You just know. You just can. It comes naturally to you. Let's say you're a highly gifted actor, and someone who isn't gifted as you start yattering about how they didn't have enough time or resources to study the way you could have studied, to go to all the acting classes, to be as beautiful as you are so people want to see you. And maybe they even skip the part that you're not that talented, but they give you the role because you're pretty. But no, you're exceptionally talented. And yes, you studied acting, but actually not as much as they say you did, and maybe even less than them. You're just more talented and more capable. But projection of their inabilities onto you again and again and again, constantly in every field. I just gave examples. I gave example from the spiritual community about allegedly people not seeing evil because it doesn't come to them because they're just so pure. That in and of itself, that vanity, that is, first of all, it's Puritan like thinking. Second of all, it's detached. It's absolutely detached. Okay, so there's that example. There's the creative example. Maybe you're an actor. Maybe you're a musician. Maybe you're just a really brilliant business person, medicine person. Whatever you do, you're there's something, Leo. You guys, there's always something. I mean, everybody has something they're very good at, right? But you, there's always something that you're absolutely excellent at, that it drives people crazy. And here comes Virgo season, where everyone is very nitpicky. They really, really want to see where you're not as good as you claim you are. Who are you really? Who is Leo really? They can't be that good at what they do. They can't be that talented. They can't be that skilled. They can't be that educated, knowledgeable, so on and so forth, whatever. They can't be that pretty. They must have had surgery. No, bitch, I just drink a lot of water. I'm vegan. I don't keep bullshit in, and I do karate. It's called being healthy. You should try that instead of making excuses. Who are you really? Exactly how you seem. Leo, you don't need to put on a show. You are a show. You are the show. You are all these things. But this month, ah, they're gonna try ya. They're gonna ask you the passive aggressive questions. They're going to vicariously sneak in how, well, if only they had the privilege that you had to be able to this and that. And they don't even know your story, not the half of it. The king of the jungle isn't really being given that position because of birth. Yeah, you can be born as a Simba to a Mufasa, but still you have to fight scars and hyenas and the dangers of the jungles and of your own self-doubts in order to maintain the role, claim the role, reclaim the role, be good at it. And the most annoying thing about it, you can't say anything. Anything you say as a response will make you look like the bad guy. It's a lose-lose situation. If you don't say anything, people let their words go into their mind and make them doubt you. If you say anything, then you are egoic and pride, and here's the truth about Leo. You're gonna have to let some relationships go. You're going to have to let I'm just gonna say it, the losers. I'm gonna say it for you. I'm gonna say it for you, Leo. You're too kind to say it about them. I'm gonna say it for you, okay? Let the losers go. Let those who can't and project it onto you go. Oh, they've been a lifelong friend. You've been carrying them on your back. Their insecurities, their inabilities. You've been doing shit for them so they can get some of the credit, and then they go around and look at you funny. There's no winning. You need to be around people who don't make excuses, hence are on the trajectory to having the sight, the skill, the talent, the success, the light. Dude, you can't choose light if you don't recognize darkness. Darkness will fool you every single time, will come dressed up as light. And because you can't see darkness hidden under the costume of a light, darkness just doesn't come to you. Everything that comes to you is good because you're just not that kind of an energy. You will only be surrounded by hypocritical energies that presume to be good but are insidious on the inside. Right? You've reached the climate, you've reached that point where you just can't do that anymore. And September will show you the people in your life that you've allowed to remain because of compassion, because of kindness, because of generosity of spirit. Do they give you the credit of generosity of spirit? No. It's just easier for you, Leo. You can't begin to understand the struggles that I go through and why I can't do the things that you can do. They are the hero. They are the true kind soul, not you, who manages to be kind, talented, awesome, all of these things, and succeed despite all odds. You are so courageous. Your bravery is incredible. You are so brave. You're fearless. I've never met courageous hearts as Leos. It's incredible. It's incredible how brave you are. With a smile. So they don't credit your bravery for doing impossible things because you saw the pit. You either jumped above it or fixed or covered the hole or accidentally fell into it, battled the snakes in there and climbed out with snake venom inside of you that turned you into a medicine man on top of all shit, right? You're like a freaking walking shaman who's also a Hollywood star. It's like they can't deal with it. They can't be just a shaman. They can't be just a Hollywood star. Every single one of these things are like the one percentage of the world when it comes to skill, talent, energy, manifestation, knowledge, transmutation, alchemy. Very few people manage to tangibly, practically, actively tap into that energy of manifestation and creation, that infinite source of you being a magus, Very few. And it drives them wild when they meet you because your existence reminds them that they didn't. But they can if instead of puking onto you and projecting onto you and trying to minimize you in order to feel better about themselves, instead of doing that, if they, God forbid, take a moment to be inspired by you, ask you questions, learn from you. The knowledge and the ability is there. They just have to acknowledge that they don't know in order to learn. If you already know everything, how will you learn anything, right? You know it. You know it, but you do it quietly. You don't waltz around as an intellectual with fake glasses just to look smarter. Growing beard just so that you can walk around doing this. Tending to think. The only thing that they're thinking about is, are they seeing me thinking? Yeah, we can see you. I can see you thinking, all right? It's in the way they move that shows that they're not thinking anything of meaning other than, can they see that I'm thinking? Four of Pentacles. You want to hold on to them? You want to save them? That's your Achilles heel. That's when you keep losing, Leo. That's where your generosity and kindness bite you in the booty, because it's where it gets tainted by somewhat of a hero complex. Don't fall into that trap. That's your shadow. Don't fall into your shadow. How will I not fall into my shadow? By being aware of your shadow. You know how to do that. The sun, light, knows all the shadows. You just gotta acknowledge, admit. And the only reason you don't admit, if you don't admit it to yourself, is not because you can't deal with it. It's just because what it will mean. It will mean that you'll have to let go of certain people, certain situations. So, in ways of giving you a reason to stick around, to let them stick around, you pretend to be blind. Because maybe if you'll pretend to be blind, blind people will like you better and stop being so mean to you. If you'll pretend to be blind, you'll be able to keep them around. Not only that, they'll see that you're blind as them. They won't feel as threatened, and then it will be nice between the two of you. But it's never nice between you. There's always some insinuation, some passive-aggressive remarks, some insults dressed as compliments. And it hurts you. It hurts your feelings. And you don't show. You laugh. You change the subject. Not for you, for them. So they don't feel uncomfortable with hurting your feelings. Like that's, if you'll insist this month on continuing on continuing to doing this, is that even a proper phrase? Probably not. But you get what I'm trying to say. It's gonna be hard. As I said, they're going to be more aggressive. Seven of Cups. What else is out there? So much. Magical people like you, Leo, who aren't threatened by you. We're excited, who enjoy. You don't have to constantly apologize for being popular, for being loved, for being cool, for being talented, for being capable, for knowing this, for doing. Not constantly putting you on the apologizing. For fixing. Fixing what? What did I do? What did I do? You're right, it doesn't make sense. They're not making any sense. They won't make any sense. Two of Swords. Stick around, you'll stay miserable. Card after card after card shows me that you're nodding, yet not going to do anything about it. I mean, what? Saying what I see is the most I can do. Hey, here's a pit. Several pits, Leo. No, they don't mean to be pits, though. They didn't. It's not their fault that they came into this world as a pit. It's because of their astrology. It's because of their karma. It's because they have, they didn't want to become a pit. Okay, I get it, but nonetheless, it's a pit. Keep walking and you'll fall. Yeah, but they don't mean to do. Yeah, but you'll still fall. You'll still experience the result of walking straight into a pit. Understand? And you can't help cover the pit or correct the pit, because then they'll say that you're patronizing them, or that they're not a pit. They don't see life as pits. They're not a pit. They're a pit. No, Morgan, you don't understand. Their soul is beautiful. Everyone's soul is beautiful. That has nothing. Seekers, Leo, non-Leos, whatever. Leos or non-Leos. All of you. Take the whole, but I see there is soul. It's so beautiful. It does not apply to your existence here. Never. All souls are divine and beautiful and have great potential, and they are on their journey. All of them. See, that's the danger in not recognizing or being able to see evil. Even evil comes from love, or the lack thereof it. Doesn't negate the fact that its acts are harmful, painful, dangerous. If you deny if you keep telling us, no, but it comes from love. Okay, philosophically, energetically, in other dimensions. Here, where you're at now, pooping, sleeping, eating, getting upset, even when you tell yourself you're not upset, getting upset over whatever. You gotta acknowledge it in order to either evade it or fix it or not fall into it. It's a freaking pit. That person, that place, that job, that thing, that friendship, that whatever. But I love them. Okay. What do you want me to say about that? What do you want me to say about that? But you understand that friend, they've been with me for 30 years. I get it. I'm sure there were amazing aspects about that friendship that made it as strong of a friendship for as long as it was. But how do you feel today when you hang out with them? Just today, now, these times. Not everybody has a bad day, of course, but admitting something is over is admitting that what it represents in us is over, right? That childhood is over. Well, you'll still have all the memories. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just trying to make sure that the decisions that you're making are conscious decisions, informed decisions. Otherwise, it's not really choice. If your choice is based on false information or a false understanding of the situation, it's not really a choice. A lot of difficult cards in this reading. Oh, there we go. Knight of Wands. Here you are, waking back up to life, reminded that you are a knight of the round table. You know, a rare breed of a dying world that I wish it hadn't been dying. Sorry. That's better. Wake up and get excited of the possibilities ahead of you. You don't have to formally end anything. Just live your life and seek people. They don't need to glorify you, of course not, but be inspired by you. Enjoy the fact that you're this and that. Two of Pentacles. This month will be a month of debating, of wondering, of going back and forth, of reading it through and then reading it again, and then did I miss out on anything? And then is that the truth? Do I really want to acknowledge it? And then Page of Wands, and then realizing, and then suddenly letting it all go and feeling absolutely uplifted and 10 years younger. And thinking like, why did I hold on to all of these things for as long as I did? Why did I hold on to that job for as long as I did? Why did I hold on to that group of people for as long as I did? Why did I hold on to that jealous, competitive, insecure partner for as long as I did? It will feel like a distant dream. That's good news. Oh. Wow, the Empress who fell in the reverse right on the Four of Pentacles. Okay, let's look at the cards and do an existential shift spread. Hi, pretty table. What's up? Check out the description box for ways of deepening your relationship with the existential shift, and to show gratitude if that's something you're interested in, and more information and links. And check out Patreon for deepening your esoteric knowledge. I put up all of Tarot Masterclass over there for unlimited streaming. Exciting. Okay. Let's see. Only one major arcana in the reverse. Okay. The Empress. We have two twos. That's repetition. Two of Swords and Two of Pentacles. And these are the court cards. Knight of Wands and Page of Wands. Very interesting. 4, 5, 7, 10. And Who Are You Really right here. Who Are You Really is a special card for this deck, for the Londo Tarot. There are 79 cards in that deck. Okay, I'm putting it here aside because it's not, I want to focus on this aspect of the reading. Some of you are dealing with a mother figure or a wifey figure that is not embodying healthy femininity or divine femininity. There's toxicity here. There is abuse of her feminine powers. Could be emotional manipulation, could be codependency, being very reliant financially, emotionally, possibly using femininity or using sexuality to gain whatever she wants or to exert control. And you're not certain. Now, if it's your mother, then I get why it's hard. I mean, it's something that you just need to deal with, depending on the level, of course. I'm not saying that you have to deal with anyone who's abusive or exceptionally toxic because they're family. I know it makes it significantly harder, but I'm not saying that you need to stick around at all costs. I'm saying I don't know your individual story, so I can't say anything in certainty. However, to a certain degree, less or more, there's a level of toxicity, and it's problematic. And some of you have been in denial about this for a very long time, and you're starting to wonder, did I grow up with a narcissist, or did I grow up with um, emotional toxicity, coercion, manipulation, etc.? Did I? And the youthful, energetic, life-loving part of you that is very big is starting to kind of trying to say this to you. Kind of trying to wake you up to this. Now, for the women out there, some of you that are watching, Not most of you, but some of you, and those who need to hear this, because some of you are dealing with the feminine like that, and some of you possibly are exuding these attributes within yourself. And you tell yourself all the reasons why you're great, and there's a level of deep emotional denial here. There's a lot of insecurity, a lot of pain that makes you behave in a way that is very abrasive to people around you. Very few of you, those who needed to hear this, I had to say it as an opportunity to existentially shift. That's why you're here, right? Some of you are mothers to children that you feel like you can't deal with, that you don't have the power or the energy or in certain cases the will to deal with them. Maybe they are hyper, maybe they have a lot of energy, maybe they think differently than you, maybe they are explorers and they don't go with the tradition of that you come from or how you view life. You are not in the right. They came up in the upright and they express really positive energy. And this came out in the reverse, strongly fell on the Four of Pentacles. This is someone who can also be obsessed with tradition, with how things should be, how things look. What will people think? What will the neighbors say? What will they say? Like you have to align to a certain thing. You can't do this to me. How dare you hurt me like that for wanting to do your thing, for wanting to be independent, for wanting to be different, for wanting to study something that is different than your whatever family's business and all that jazz. That person, you or someone else, is not in the right. And has created a lot of sabotage and a lot of ruin to their relationships. And this could be someone in your life that you've been insisting on. Maybe because, in a way, you yourself don't want to admit an ending or letting go of, or that you were wrong, or that it was just not real. I know it's hurtful to hear for those of you that it applies to, right? I'm sorry, but there's a lot of emotional codependency coming through from having two twos in the Empress and the reverse. Strong emotional. Someone might be highly dependent on you, Leo, or vice versa. You might be dependent on them, although I doubt it. But it could be depending on your other placements and other aspects. And maybe you're a cross watcher, right? And I'm talking to a cross watcher for Leo, and you're the one who's like, why isn't Leo tamed? Why don't they do what I expect them to do? They're not supposed to do what you expect them to do, sweetheart. It's not how it works. Stop using your beauty to control people. Yeah, no, if someone is falling for that shit, I mean, they need to be called out on it as well. But like taking advantage of people's weakness is not cool. Yeah, they shouldn't be this weak, but still, they have their own insecurities and their own doubts, and maybe they think that you're in your divine femininity by being so controlling and possessive and jealous. Kind of mean to other women. So if you're a cross watcher for Leo who's behaving like that, like, right, I'm not going to support this. This is bullcrap. And I won't be helping you if I'll support this. Leo's being a Leo. They don't do what you want them to do. It's not because they're bad. It's not because they're bad. Now, obviously, if someone is cheating on you and lying to you and playing you, that's not the case. That's not who you are. Then you're in the right. But then you need to ask yourself, why do you sacrifice yourself like that? Why do you stay? Right? So in that case, that's another aspect of the Empress in the reverse, right? Giving away her power by staying with someone who takes away her power and still caring for someone who does not give a fuck. That's also an aspect of this reading that is coming through. There's all kinds of layers to this. This is not an easy reading. But every single one of you, on whichever narrative that came out, who's watching, you got to claim your power, claim your talent, claim your beauty, claim your truth, and live by it and enjoy it and surround yourself with people who enjoy it and live by it as well. Simple. That applies to all of the narratives that came out. And not doing so is also the core reason as to why these things are here, coming through. Okay? Everything is right here. Literally. Everything, everything, everything. I love you. I'll see you soon. Check out the description box as well. Bye. Oh, subscribe if you're new. Give it the like.